Have you seen this rabbit? They call him Nabbit. I've been on this guy's trail for the last 13 years. This cottontail thief is hiding something, and it's been right under all our noses, right in plain sight. Yet after all these years, we still know so little about them. What's the deal with this guy? Heck, are they even a guy? A girl? Or even... Wait a minute. Hey, my name is Snoodle, and today I wanted to talk about a character that has interested me for quite some time now. Being someone who grew up with the new Super Mario Bros. Games. Oh, sorry. New Super Mario Bros. Games. Nabbit was one of those things that really caught my eye as a kid, with Nabbit being a play on the words Nabbit, as in to steal, and rabbit, if that wasn't already obvious. Being introduced after stealing from a mushroom house, and then running to hide in one of the levels, where if you choose to follow them, the player has to chase them through the level, and if they're caught, you get rewarded with a special item, the P-Acorn. Okay, we can say it. Haha, P-Funny. The P-Acorn being the most powerful item you can get in the game, being a stand-in for things like your White Tanuki or your other White Tanuki. But that's not really important. What is important is Nabbit's design, with it leaving me with quite a few questions, such as the thing most people will probably notice first, Nabbit's bandana, being nearly identical to Bowser Jr.'s, but when you actually compare the two, you can see a few key differences, such as the fact that Bowser Jr.'s is clearly messier, with clearer scribble marks, and while Nabbit clearly has a grin, Jr. seems to be more angry. As you can see, I've depicted myself as the grinning Nabbit, and you as the furious Bowser Jr. Checkmate, liberal. Also, it's interesting how what seems at first to be a one-off character have a design element that's similar to the son of the King of Koopas. Well, I have a few theories for why this is, but I want to first go over everything else we know, such as the fact while they seem as a sort of throwaway enemy at first, they ended up becoming a playable character. And I don't just mean in spin-offs, which they were surprisingly added to pretty quickly for such a new character. They're also a fully playable character in 2 mainline Mario titles, which is very perplexing to me, because these slots tend to be reserved for the Mario characters, such as the titular Mario Bros, your Toads, and occasionally even Yoshi or the princesses. But Nabbit was even playable before Daisy's first introduction. And it would be different if it was just a simple one-off character for the game, like Wario was for Mario 64 for the DS. But considering their appearance in Mario Wonder, there's a chance they could become a semi-mainstay. Obviously it's too soon to assume, but at the same time, they have been in every 2D Mario game since their introduction. They're also simply a very unique character, even when it comes to their gameplay, having their own special gimmick, with them being unable to be harmed by enemies, but with the caveat of not being able to use items. Instead, anything they pick up goes into their bag. Where in New Super Luigi U and Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, they're converted to lives at the end of every level. Also, a bit off topic, but thank God they stopped using the new Super Mario Bros. Naming convention for these games. We were almost at the High School Musical, the series, levels of names for these games. Also, while the Yoshis do share a very similar role in Wonder, being unable to get her to use items, Nabbit is still special because of the fact they don't take any knockback damage. Where Yoshi will be tossed around after being hit, Nabbit will just push through. And unlike Yoshi, you can't ride Nabbit. Aww. I know. I was sad when I heard the news too. Obviously, Nabbit takes the role as the character you give to your younger sibling who doesn't really get how to play the game, but still wants to be a part of the fun, with them being considered easy mode. But I have a sort of hot take. I like playing as Nabbit. I love you! While some portion of the gaming community might disagree, there's something special about running through a game with all these puzzles, enemies, challenges, and just simply enjoying yourself. It almost makes you forget that Nabbit is always watching the player, keeping notes on them, keeping track of their every movement for unknown reasons. Wait a minute. Yeah, so in Mario U, there's a lone purple mushroom house in the middle of the ocean that you can only get to after beating the game. And yeah, if it wasn't clear already from the stolen eggs, items, rabbit-shaped ceilings, and the Nabbit bags in the purple house, we're obviously in Nabbit's hideout, with there being a board showing all the players' stats. How many steps they've taken, items used, coins collected, but like, why? Obviously it was put here to give the player their stats, but it's odd to link it to Nabbit instead of just keeping it in a menu like they usually are. So who is Nabbit? Because from what we can see, it seems possible that Nabbit is in fact a costume, with their purple seeming completely separate from the black, and it not resembling fur at all. And then there's the eyes, always having this blank, almost lifeless expression on them.
Honestly, if I saw that damn thing in my living room, I'd stomp on it until it was a small stain.
And despite their clear differences from all the other rabbits we've seen in the series, unless you count the rabbits, who actually do share quite a few similarities with Nabbit. The soulless eyes, the similar shaped ears, their smooth bodies. Luckily, Super Mario U released 4 years before any official Mario and Rabbids collaboration, meaning it's unlikely they have any actual connection. Thank God. However, Nabbit still does share similarities with the other rabbits in the series, with most rabbit characters in these games having to be chased in order to get the items from them, which is just like Nabbit. But other than the fact that they're both mischievous in nature, that's where the comparisons lie. So, how about we look at the characters that have been theorized to be Nabbit? First, there's obviously Bowser Jr. Just look at him. Both short, having similar bandanas, and it's not like you've ever seen them in the same room before. Yeah, so it's not Bowser Jr. Clearly they have some sort of connection to one another, but they're still very clearly their own characters. However, we still have a few others that people have made connections to Nabbit with, like a popular comparison being Ravio, both being disguised purple rabbits. But other than them looking similar, they don't really have any other connections, with Nintendo themselves even debunking any connection between the two, with any similarities simply being a coincidence. There's also possible theories for characters like Toad, with Nabbit having a Toad house of their own, or a plethora of other Mario villains, but the most compelling out of these for me is Ninji, both being around the same height, matching up with their black bodies. They simply look like they'd match the role. But again, that's basically it. So if we really want to figure out Nabbit, we're gonna have to dig a little bit deeper. See, that's a Mario character. Look guys, I'm funny. We have to look at this character's personality. Unlike most characters in the series, who are either depicted as a good guy or a bad guy, Nabbit is distinctly neither, with them seeming to even be some kind of nomad, with every appearance of them just showing they tend to just do what they want, with them constantly flip-flopping between helping Mario and being against Mario, which can explain a lot of their behavior. Sure, they can tag along with Mario for the fun of it, but they won't do something like save Princess Peach, and we still don't know why they track everything we do. They're a strange, greedy, morally ambiguous character. Speaking of a morally ambiguous, greedy character, Professor Gadd. And brief history lesson, Gadd is a wacky scientist. He's crazy, who's most known for helping Luigi in the Luigi's Mansion series by using his many inventions to catch and contain ghosts. And while at first it might seem like he's doing this out of the kindness of his heart, it becomes clear he's more interested in things like research and profiting than anything else. He even occasionally has his own little trademark on his devices. And some of you might already know where I'm going with this. In Mario Sunshine, Mario gets Flood, a gift from Gadd, to help with a mess on Isle Delfino. And in the same game, we have our first introductions to Bowser Jr. And with that, he has a magic paintbrush, the thing causing this mess to begin with. And would you look at that, an Elvin Gadd original. So what do we learn from this? Well, firstly that Gadd is a war profiteer, stirring the pot to fix issues he caused in the first place, but that he might also have some connection to Nabbit, with both flip-flopping between allies, but never truly siding with one. So do I think Gadd is Nabbit? Well, sure, he might match the height. I seriously doubt this geezer can run. The joke's he's old, and he's decrepit. He's senile. However, I do think his connection is pushing us in the right direction, with another character actually fitting a very similar role to Nabbit. In Mario Sunshine, we find quite an interesting character, a runner who you have to race multiple times through the game, a character who's known for wearing a disguise, a character who's oh so slightly shorter than Mario, a character that hasn't appeared in any other Mario game other than their first appearance in Sunshine, despite being set up to return. I'm of course talking about El Pantisimo. Some of you of course might not think this is enough to prove these two are the same character, which I can understand. So how about I go through these connections? El Pantisimo, if you don't know, is a simple side character you have to race throughout the game, being dressed as a Pianta to hide his identity. And he even has a few connections to our Bowser Jr., with them both making their first appearance in this game. And much like Nabbit, while yes they also start as a simple side character, when everything is finished, and the game reaches its end, we see him one last time, looking at the magic paintbrush, the very same one Bowser Jr. used throughout the game, with him staring at it, heavily implying that he takes it, possibly even being where he starts his life of crime. Especially because after this, we don't see the paintbrush again. And don't give me that, oh, Bowser Jr. had it in Bowser's Fury. While yes, they look the same, this one very clearly doesn't have the EGAT symbol on it. So, actually, it's not the same one. Implying that possibly EGAT gave him a new one. Or Bowser Jr. had someone else make him a new one, with it now even having his own symbol on it. So to me at least, it seems unlikely to be the exact same one. So after Il Piantissimo takes the brush, they simply disappear from the series entirely, just for Nabbit to appear out of the blue. Or should I say, out of the purple. Oh, come on! I know there are still some loose ends, such as Il Piantissimo having a slightly deeper voice. And perhaps their personalities don't perfectly match one another. Perhaps the competitive Il Piantissimo, who was obsessed with proving he was better than Mario, faster than Mario, only to fail over and over again, turned to a life of crime, putting aside his ego, but still wanting to prove that he was better, so he had to return. But he couldn't return as Il Piantissimo, perhaps because he wanted to better hide his identity. Or perhaps, like a luchador, after failing so many times, he gave up that title. That persona. He needed a new disguise, a new gimmick. And instead of simply racing Mario again just to fail as he has before, he'll study him, improving his speed as he steals, and getting closer and closer to him over time, which could even explain why he became a playable character. He's simply sticking around, not as a friend or an ally, but simply to learn. So, do I think Nabbit is Il Piantissimo? Probably not. I know this whole time I was making this whole argument, but the truth is the reason behind Nabbit becoming a playable character in the first place was because of the rushed development of Super Luigi U. You can especially see this in some of their animations, with them not even having a proper swimming animation, with them probably sticking around only as a way to have an easy mode for players. And perhaps a higher up simply just is a big fan of Nabbit, leading to them becoming a more common character. But, on the other hand, Ravio. They were a Legend of Zelda character who hid their face. And Il Piantissimo also hid their face. And when we look behind the mask, we see... oh my god. It makes sense. The Running Man. It all makes sense. He can obviously hop dimensions, stealing disguises, first as a Pianta, then he copied Ravio and Bowser Jr.'s mask. Stealing, running, hiding, watching. This rabbit hole just keeps getting deeper and deeper. It all makes sense. I did it. I did it! Il Piantissimo is Nabbit. Sans is Ness. Or I could be just looking way too deep into all of this. I'll be honest, I just made this video because I wanted to talk about a character that I've been a really big fan of for quite some time now. Whether or not you believe my weird crackpot theory, I hope you found a new appreciation for Nabbit. And while I was semi-joking about some of it, I do still think these connections are interesting, and really just give some food for thought. Anyways, I couldn't think of a good bit for the outro. Thank you all for watching. I've been wanting to make this video for quite some time now. I've actually wanted to make this video since I started this channel over a year ago. Either way, I hope you all enjoyed it. Please consider liking, commenting, or even subscribing if you want to see more like this. I'm not one that usually cares about this sort of thing, but doing so helps tell YouTube I make content people actually want to see. But if not, that's okay as well. But if you do it, you actually get a reward at the very end of the video. And if you don't, you're not allowed to look. Because I'm clicking on this video, you actually signed a contract agreeing to these terms, so I wouldn't test that if I was you. Also, just one more thing. As some of you may know, I've started making gaming content, and I plan to make more like it, especially considering how much easier it is compared to making these fully scripted and edited videos. It's also just been something I've been wanting to do, so if you want to see more content like that, please let me know. Or if you even have any game recommendations, I'd love to hear them. Anyways, I'll be seeing y'all later. Bye bye.